Have you ever had the feeling that there are things you'd love for your life, that you have your own vision of success, and you definitely know what it would take for you to get there, but for some reason you're doing the opposite? For me, it has been my relationship with food. I knew what it would take to have a healthy relationship with food and with my body, but I've been doing the opposite for years. I've been questioning this idea of self-sabotage, and today I'd like to talk about it. I'm going to talk about these behaviors that keep us stuck where we are and that prevent us from achieving what we really want to achieve. I'm also going to talk about the fear of success and the fear of loving ourselves that we can have. I know these concepts might not be very familiar to you right now, but just trust me, I'll explain it to you. Hey, my name is Lara and I'm also Saphy musically. And at 17 years old, I moved to London from my small village in France because I wanted to pursue my dreams. I've also worked on cruise ships for the past couple of years, where I've been entertaining crowds all around the world, traveling and living my best life. But I was so unfulfilled within and so far from my purpose that I've decided to leave it all on the side and settle back on land without jobs, without friends, without anything. But here I am, starting a YouTube channel and sharing personal development and my music and hoping to connect with you all. So first, let's talk about self-sabotage. What is it and how does it show up? If you're a little bit familiar with how the brain works, you probably know that it loves staying in its comfort zone. Even if we exactly know what it would take for us to change and achieve our dreams, we often stay stuck in our habits. Self-sabotage can show up as procrastination, in my case, emotional eating. It can show up as perfectionism or even some addictive patterns. There are so many ways self-sabotage can show up in your life, and today I'm going to explain you how you can overcome it and how you can figure out if you have any of these patterns. Let me share a little bit about how self-sabotage has been showing up in my life. See, I'm not really scared of stepping into the unknown because this is something I've always done. Moving to London at 17 years old, working on cruise ships and changing environments billions of times have really taught me how to adapt and how to get familiar to new environments and how to embrace the discomfort. One thing I've always struggled with without finding the answer, and this is something I've been meditating on, this is something I've been journaling about and thinking about, and I feel like I had tried every single thing. It's my emotional eating and my relationship with food and with my body. For the past couple of years, I've been trying getting on diets and controlling what I eat, trying to eat less so that I would love myself more if I looked skinny. I've been trying to avoid being restrictive and let myself eat whatever I want. I've tried to have so many different approaches to how I eat and to myself in terms of my relationship with food and with my body. No matter what I tried, it felt like nothing worked. I've read so many books, I followed so much advice online from nutritionists and people who give advice. But for some reason, I've never found the answer to why do I always go for food to soothe myself. A big answer that I've also found a couple of days ago is my inner child that I had been ignoring for so long. And once I started listening to it a couple of days ago, I could see how food was not my main focus anymore. There was a child panicking inside me that I had been ignoring for so long. This is another topic and I've done a video for that. But there's something even deeper that I've realized today. Is that not only this inner child has been screaming for my attention and I've only just started listening to it, so I know the whole process is going to be way smoother now. But I've realized something crazy. As a kid, I felt so lonely and I really struggled with not having friends. And what did my little childish brain think? This is my fault. I'm not enough. There must be something wrong with me. Which created a massive amount of self-hatred. I've always hated myself. I've always struggled with myself so much. And these feelings and beliefs carried their way onto my adulthood. I still do hate myself in some way. I'm changing now, but there are still very difficult emotions about who I am and how worthy I am and what I deserve in the world. What my brain is familiar with is not liking myself, is I'm not good enough, I don't deserve love, and I do not like myself. Now, if you look at my big dreams, and even just my desire for being fit and lean and strong, I know exactly what I would need to get there. I know how I would need to eat. I know what type of exercise I need to do because I know my body and I know myself and I know what works or what doesn't work for me. But this habit of going to the kitchen and always eating whenever I feel a little bit down has been a self-sabotage behavior in my life. What I've recently realized, and hear me out because you might realize some stuff about yourself right now, is that me getting in the right body shape equals succeeding, equals loving myself, and my brain is not familiar with loving myself because I've always hated myself. It might seem silly, but I've realized how the fear of success is linked to the fear of loving yourself, at least in my case. Another way I've been self-sabotaging, I'm just going to talk about it shortly, is in my relationship. I'm currently in an amazing relationship, the relationship of my dreams. This is very new to me because I've always been in toxic relationships before, so I've been treated very badly. I haven't been respected, I haven't been heard, I've been put down all the time. And subconsciously, I got used to being treated this way. So now being in a relationship where I'm loved and respected and heard and valued feels very uncomfortable. And I can see how there has been some self-sabotaging behaviors as well, trying to show up to prevent me from getting into that relationship, even though this was my wildest dream. So these are just two examples of how self-sabotage has stepped into my life, how and where it shows up in my life. So maybe you can do the same today and ask yourself, in what way has self-sabotage been present in my life? And how does it control me in any way? Here are a couple of questions you can ask yourself to check if self-sabotage is controlling any part of your life and preventing you from success. First question is, do I have dreams or desires that feel impossible to reach? Second question is, do I know the steps that I need to take in order to achieve my dreams, but for some reason I feel held back? And there's something that I don't even understand that's holding me back from it. Third question is, do I sometimes feel like I'm getting back to an older part of me because whatever is happening is uncomfortable? For example, when I quit alcohol, I felt so uncomfortable with everything because I had been drinking for so long, and I could feel how my old self was trying to pull me back into what it knows. What's happening right now is that even though I understand that I have a fear of success and fear of loving myself, I'm still getting used to going to food to soothe myself every time I want it. But I can feel how my old self is still trying to pull me back because your minds prefer what's comfortable over what's good for you. Another great question you can ask yourself is, if I achieve that goal, so if I'm successful, no matter what area of your life it is, am I scared of losing anything? Am I scared of losing anything or anyone? If I succeed, if I get to that specific goal, what will happen and how would I feel about it? So the main question you can really ask yourself is, are my patterns keeping me stuck, even though I know how to break away from them? Are you emotional eating even though you want to get fit? Do you keep smoking even though you know you want to be healthier? Do you push your partner away even though you really love them and you really want that relationship? All of these are self-sabotage behaviors that control us, because remember that self-awareness is 90%. And the choice of a new reality is actually just 10%. So if you're aware of your self-sabotage behavior, that's already 90% of the work. We really underestimate how our beliefs are holding us back in anything we want to do in life. We don't even allow ourselves to step into our desires and to be in touch with what we actually want, because we're holding ourselves back. We're so scared of how people will perceive us. We're so scared of judgment. I believe fear of success is really actually a thing. If you've always struggled with your self-image, it can be really hard to take the right steps towards success, because that would mean loving yourself. Thank you so much for watching and spending this time together. I'm so grateful for you, and I'd love to connect with you, whether it's on Instagram or here in the comments. Feel free to get in touch. If you want some of my music, I've recorded all my demos on SoundCloud, so I've put a link in the description down below, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.